Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the first ever but not first ever community podcast. It's first time labeled under just community podcast. I am your host, Senior Wade Rodspies, and I am joined by.
Hi, my name is Matt Calera. I'm part of the EZA community, and I love them. So, yeah.
What do you do, by the way? I forgot to ask.
Oh,
You get paid for doing anything?
No. So currently, I'm a full-time film student, and I go to DePaul University in Chicago. I'm trying to be a production sound person, so someone that captures sound on set.
Yeah, so I'm actually a broadcast production major at University of
Right.
Nebraska Lincoln. So I was going to be a film major, but you have to like audition, and there's this whole thing at UNL, and you have to send in like examples of short films you've made and stuff like that, and it's like a 4-year program. So if you don't get in as a freshman, you're gonna have to like be on an extra year. And I'm like, I'll just do broadcasting because it's kind of like that, but a little easier. Yeah, you got a job or anything? Just full-time student?
Full-time student. I'm on summer break right now.
Yeah, so am I.
I've got like a part-time sort of working at the film studio attached to our school. We own a couple stages there. I just
That's
sort of
pretty cool.
help maintain the place. So yeah.
How many have you made?
That's what I got going.
Films or just like just kind of miscellaneous stuff here and there?
Not personally. I've like personally myself, but I've like helped out.
Yeah.
Some.
That's kind of what I've directed, writ, or just been a part of. Because like I actually like I posted a while back that I was directing my first like actual like short film.
It was just, was it the Hotline Miami one?
Yeah, it was bad, so I didn't post it.
What? Oh no.
Well, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't what I had intended.
Okay.
Because I didn't. When you say amateur crew, we're not kidding about an amateur crew. Nobody knew what the hell they were doing, almost especially me, and I was directing it, and so it was just like there were a lot of heads butting, and I'm like, I tell the guy, hey, like my camera guy, I'm like, hey, watch these movies as like examples of like how to hold the camera and like what to look for when shooting. He's like, okay, got it. Show up on the day of filming and goes, I think I've seen a movie before, Wade. I don't think I need to see those. I'm like, okay, guy. And guess what? It kind of sucked. So I was very disappointed. I mean, it was still like, we still got an A, from the teacher, but I was still very disappointed. I don't want to talk about it.
Get it next time, Wade.
I've made like other videos, so I can just move on. But yeah, I don't know, personal introductions aside, I kind of wanted to ask what you've been playing, if you've been able to play anything lately, because I know people are very busy for some reason lately.
So I still live in the suburbs and I commute every day to school, or at least when school is up. But I just got a Switch like 2 months ago, and it's like
that helps.
Perfect for commuting. It's so good. Like train rides like are so fun now. I've been playing Breath of the Wild, obviously.
Of course.
It's like the game for Switch. But yeah, I've been playing that. I just got my own copy of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for Switch, which is like amazing. I love that game.
Those are the two games
I've been playing. Yeah. Wait, no.
I have the demo for Tetris, but.
Oh, you have the okay. Because I also have the Puyo Puyo Tetris. I got that too.
I want the full game, but I've just been content playing because you could just play Tetris. Yeah. So I'm good just having Tetris on the Switch. But I don't know. I also have my NES hooked up, and that has Tetris. So if I really want, I have multiple ways of playing Tetris. But I don't know. My Switch. It's been collecting dust lately. I've been playing a little bit of the Zelda DLC, but it hasn't really grabbed me since I checked because on your profile it says how much time you spent playing a game, and it said like 85 hours or more of Zelda, and I'm like, I think I'm good, guys. I think it's okay if I say I'm done for a while. Yeah, and I got it late too. Like I got it like right when I got out of spring semester in May. So yeah, I bought it, just sat down and did not move for a long time until it was done, and then I put it down. I also had Mario Kart 8. I bought Mario Kart 8 with my Switch. A friend had an extra copy of Zelda, and he let me just download. He had an extra code, so I downloaded it. I know, what a guy!
Awesome. Oh man,
I was like in shock. I'm like, are you serious? Like, because he just DMs me on Twitter. He's like, "Hey, I've got an extra copy if you want it." I'm like, "You're joking, right? Like, you're not actually gonna give it to me. Like, we're not that good of friends, are we?" But yeah, I got lucky there. I would have bought it anyway. I just would have waited on Mario Kart. But yeah, I love the Switch. Just wish I because I tried the Test Punch for ARMS, and I wasn't really digging it, so I didn't buy that. And then I only got enough time in to play 2 matches of Splatoon during that Splatfest, and so I didn't really get enough time to form an opinion of whether or not I wanted to buy it or not. So I was curious what your thoughts were. Like, have you tried either of those?
So, like a few weeks ago, my brother, who lives in Texas right now, he came over for a weekend, and he brought his Switch. And on the way over here, he bought a copy of ARMS, because that just came out. And I know recently he just bought Splatoon 2. And so when he was over, I got to play ARMS. And for me, maybe it's just because I haven't played like enough of it to like really understand like how it works and like how to be good at the game. But from what I've played, it doesn't really seem like something that I would spend too much time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if it was jam-packed with content, I think I might have considered it, just because then I would have been like, well, I'll get used to it eventually. But I tried it with just the controller, just with the Joy-Con controller, and it just felt so weird to me, like pressing R and L to fire and pressing the left stick to block. I'm like, this just doesn't feel good. And then I tried it with motion controls, and it just wasn't working for me. I might have just been stupid. Excuse me. So I'm like, just really worked up. I just wasn't feeling it. It's from the Mario Kart 8 team, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
So I'm like, these guys obviously know what they're doing. It might just be an I'm weird situation, like Ian in The Last of Us. Like, I understand, it's just me. I recognize that this is a fun thing. I just not really for me.
Yeah, like when I launched it for the first time, I saw that there was like no story mode, and I'm like,
yeah,
really? There's no story mode.
The Test Punch was only online, and so I was playing that. I'm like, okay, this is fun, I guess, but I guess it's one of those games you just get on, mess around with for a half hour, and then move on. And I guess it'd be good for that. But as a game that's coming out on a console that doesn't really have a lot going on right now, I don't know if that's something you'd want right away. Because that's kind of what Mario Kart is for me. If I just want to hop on, do a race, and call it good, I can do that. Or Tetris even. Whereas like Breath of the Wild is the sit down for 10 hours, just play. And so I just thought maybe ARMS could have just come out because I think that game was ready at launch. I don't think it needed that extra time. So I think that game would have benefited from being a launch game almost, because a lot of people would have seen that like, oh, it's out right now. I can just get it and enjoy it with Zelda as like a palate cleanser. And so I don't know. ARMS, I haven't really seen many people talking about it at all lately. It kind of just came and went.
Good menu music.
Yeah, very good music in that game. I do have to admit.
Very catchy.
Yeah, very, very, very catchy. Same with Splatoon 2. I was just playing this Splatfest, so I'm like, holy crap, this feels. If there was ever a game that just felt like summer fun, like Splatoon 2 is absolutely that. It's just a bunch of people getting together, having fun. I don't know. It's just a good time. Just a good time. I can't really talk too much about it just because I only played 2 matches. I had to work that evening, like of the Splatfest, so and then I think it was just that evening, wasn't it? From like Yeah, I think it was. I don't remember. It's been a while. I've had a lot going on. But other than Switch games, what have you been playing? Like on a console or a Vita?
No.
Hey, Vita's good.
I,
Don't mock the Vita.
okay. It's still going.
I sold it for the Switch.
Oh.
I played Symphony of the Night for the first time on my Vita, and
Whoa.
that was fun. That was a good
Really?
time. Yeah, because I grew up with the PS1, but it was only Crash and Spyro and Gran Turismo, and so I didn't really play like Twisted. We had Twisted Metal, but it was Twisted Metal 3, not Twisted Metal 2, which is like the good one. So, because like I was so young, I didn't know like what was good and what wasn't. I kind of just played what my dad got for me because he was kind of still into that scene. He's not really into it anymore, but he used to be, and so it's pretty much just Crash, Spyro, and Gran Turismo. So no Castlevania, but I loved it.
I remember.
Loved it.
I remember watching my siblings play Castlevania because that game, I don't know, that game kind of freaked me out as a kid, but like I really enjoyed watching them play it.
You kill someone and they split in half and blood comes out and then they explode in flames. Like it's a bit of an overload. But I love the over the top nature of it, especially like obviously the voice acting and Dracula. I loved the Netflix series just because it reminded me so much of Symphony of the Night.
I still have to watch that.
It's really good and really short, so don't get too invested. But yeah, it's very good. I was very surprised at how impressive the animation quality and the voice. I would say my only complaint is the length, and there's no real identifiable like soundtrack from the games. It's kind of just music. No, it's like it is nothing special. No, the music's not special at all. So I loved it, but it is what it is what I would say. But
I'll check that.
Yeah, I absolutely check it out. Like I'd recommend it to anybody. And apparently the same guys doing that are doing the Assassin's Creed one, and then they're making season 2 already. And it's like,
wow.
I'm okay if you just give all these guys all the money in the world and they just make animated shows based on games and they do it right because they do it right, and that's important.
Yeah, maybe that's the avenue for video game like movies instead of like live action stuff. They just like do it animated.
Yeah, like DC for example. Like I like, with the exception of Suicide Squad, I really like the DC live action movies, but you can't argue that the animated movies are just like way better than pretty much anything else out there in terms of like comic book animated movies. So I think maybe that is the way. I wonder like, well, what else could they do that would be really cool animated? I know like a lot of games get anime series. I think like Monster Hunter might have at one point, and like Animal Crossing got a movie, but it's all weird. But like I'm looking at my games right now, and like Metal Gear Solid would be interesting, but that game already has. Have you seen like the graphic novel or they're like the motion comics for Metal Gear Solid?
No.
They came with the Legacy edition of the Legacy collection that came out a few years ago, and it came with like a visual or like moving comics book. How did I describe it? I already forgot how I described what I called it. But anyway, yeah, it was like the events of Metal Gear Solid 1 and Metal Gear Solid 2. There was one for both of them, and it was just all as a motion comic. That's what it was. And so you could just watch all of it and catch up. And I thought that was really neat. I don't know if there's any other way to get that. It's kind of like the actual ending of Metal Gear Solid 5, how it came with the collector's edition of the game on a Blu-ray, and it was only 30% done. I know because I have it. Yeah. And it's just like, all right, this is interesting. So you guys gonna release this? But it's Konami, so no. I mean, it's online. You can find it online. It's just like you're not supposed to see it online. But whatever Konami's doing, I don't know. But yeah, that got off track. So, what have you been playing other than like Switch, if anything?
I haven't been playing it much outside of that, but I mean, I've been meaning to play some more Left 4 Dead 2 because that's like my go-to.
That was my
during
go-to.
breaks.
Yeah, that's a deep cut. Well, not really a deep cut, but just old cut.
Hmm.
Old, relatively old cut.
Oh.
Yeah, I played that. I played Left 4 Dead 2 because I didn't really play Left 4 Dead 1 that much. I just had Left 4 Dead 2 on Steam, and holy crap, that was just everything for a long time.
Turn on like 100 mods at the same time.
Oh yeah,
having all the mods.
Oh yeah, my favorite mods were always the tank mods. You could like change the music that played whenever a tank showed up, and so I'd have like the Benny Hill theme show or like play when the tank shows up, and it's just like totally kills the mood. But and then there was one. It was like a level on a yacht that I played that I really liked. A lot of user created levels.
Yeah,
they're really good. Yeah, I don't. Is that game's like? Is there still an on? Like, are people still playing that online?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I think on a regular basis, don't quote me on this, but I think it's like maybe like 7,000 people, maybe.
That's like,
and then
even that's kind of surprising to me, to be honest. But then again, there is no Left 4 Dead 3, so there's nothing to for those people to really move on to. Maybe like Killing Floor 2, but even that's like it's not Left 4 Dead.
It's not Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead has charm to it. I'd definitely say, just with the characters and the level design especially has a really nice charm to it. Has a lot of replayability just with like the random weapons,
so
and
much.
Like, the adaptive AI. I love the first chapter in Left 4 Dead 2, the one that starts in the hotel, and then you're gonna have to remind me exactly like how. And then you go through like the sewers. Ugh, I don't know why. I had like a mocha frappe, so maybe that's. But yeah, you go through like the sewers at one point, right? And then
is it the
in the mall?
The hospital? Yeah,
no,
the mall one. Okay,
that's No Mercy from Left 4 Dead, because all the DLC for Left 4 Dead 2 is free on PC.
Yeah,
and because I remember there was like a huge. I watched a video about this a while ago about Microsoft and Valve's relationship with Left 4 Dead 2, how Microsoft told Valve to make the DLC cost money on Xbox, and like because they could like take a profit off of that, and Valve on PC is just like, no, that's dumb. Here it is. So I remember because I was playing it on Steam, and all my friends had, because I was PS3 mostly, and I just had a computer with Steam on it, and I was playing Left 4 Dead 2 on Steam, and all my friends had it on 360. Like, you're playing the DLC? Like, it's free, isn't it? Like, and they're like, no, it costs like $5 or whatever for a level. I'm like, oh, it sucks for you. And then like, are people playing Versus still at all? That was so fun.
I'm sure they are, but I'm like always so like nervous. I'm weirdly nervous whenever I play Versus because it's so hard to coordinate with people, and it's like high stakes.
That's people how I am good at Versus. Whenever I go online with a fighting game, my heart's just beating out of my chest before I even start. Yeah. I just press X on online. I'm like, oh god, here we go.
It's competitive, but it's
I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I've been playing Injustice 2 a lot lately. Because I've had a lot of free time lately because I just work on the weekends. I work for a local radio TV station. Right now, I just go to like county fairs and parades and stuff like that, just as like a face of the company, I guess. But I'm just an intern, so I'm not really a face of the company. But that's mostly on the weekends. So I've had a lot of time during the week to just play stuff, and I've been playing Injustice 2 pretty frequently. I just beat Gears of War 4. I've been playing Mirror's Edge Catalyst because that was really cheap on Xbox Live.
All right.
And like, did you play Mirror's Edge Catalyst at all? Not really. Anyone did.
Not so much. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would have been surprised if you'd said yes, because that game. It was $5. If that says anything about like how many people bought it, but I'm actually really enjoying it. Weirdly. Like, I don't know what there's something about it, like the visual aesthetic, the gameplay is a little rough around the edges, but when you actually get something going, did you play the first Mirror's Edge at all, or are you familiar with Mirror's Edge? Like,
I I mean, I know what like the premise is.
Yeah.
I played like a tiny bit of it. Like I own it on Steam. It's one of those games like sort of in my backlog, like way in my backlog.
The classic
But, I mean,
Steam library.
yeah.
But yeah, when you actually get these giant free running cool stuff going on, it's really fun. It's just kind of annoying because the entire time there's a big red line telling you where to go.
Yeah.
Because it's an open world game. And I'm just like, this game didn't really need to be open. Like, it's cool because you can kind of do your own thing. You can freestyle a lot more than you could in the first game. But it's really holding your hand saying, this is what you have to do. And of course, like, the level design is solid enough to where you can usually find one or two different ways to go to where you need to go. But why bother when you have a glowy red line telling you where to go? So that part's a little frustrating not frustrating, just confusing to me because it's a game all about freedom and whatever.
Is there like no way to turn that off at all?
You can, but it's just like good luck. But it's hard to find where you need to go because the level design is kind of, like it's good and it's bad at the same time. Where it's good in the sense that you have a lot of options, but it's bad in the sense that sometimes you have a hard time finding where the path to where you need to go because it is an open world game. And so you'll place a marker and it's like all the way on the edge of the map and on the other edge of the map, and there's like a big gap between buildings and you're like, I guess I'll just run this way until I find a place where it connects and, see what happens. And you also have like abilities you unlock as the story progresses. You have like a grappling hook, which is actually really cool. But the game does a really good job of telling you like that you'll get that in the future. It doesn't tease you with like, you can't take this route yet, but you will later, because you just see this thing, you're like, what's that? Oh, whatever, moving on. You don't go, it's not like Dark Souls or something, and you look at something and it's like, One be able to come back to you someday. It's kind of just, I don't know what this is, so I don't even know what its point is. Because there's one time like I saw like this thing in the middle of a zip wire, and I thought I could like jump onto it and then jump off of it, but it's like, and then I later figured out that's a thing where you can like grapple onto. I'm like, oh, that's what those things are. That's not teasing a future mechanic. That's just being kind of, I don't know, confusing. It seems like a very minor complaint, but I've had many an unneeded death because I just wasn't aware of a future mechanic because I didn't know, I just can't go this way. Like, I see this, okay, that means I can't go there yet. Like a game like Metroid or Castlevania.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to like own the show. I feel like, because you said that you haven't really played a whole lot other than like Switch. Actually, let's backtrack.
All right.
How far are you in Zelda?
Okay, so Zelda. No, okay, now I'm in. I think, according to my my profile, I think I'm only like maybe 20 or 25 hours in. But God, that game, like Huber is so right about that game. It's like the easiest 10 out of 10 in the world. It's so good.
Well, actually, I actually like can't really in good conscience give that game a 10. Like, it's not a perfect game because there were a couple moments where I had an alarming frame rate issues.
Okay.
Just kind of froze, and they kept going. And that just, I'm like, whoa, okay, there, game. Other than that, though, 10 out of 10. But
yeah. I mean, it like I've definitely experienced those like frame rate issues too.
They can easily overlook those.
Yeah. But,
it's a game so good, you're going to overlook some of the technical issues.
Like the aesthetic works so good. The mechanics are just like, they just make sense. Like you ask yourself like, okay, is this possible? Like, can I climb up here? I'm like, of course you can do that. It just like, of course you can.
Well, I was thinking to myself, because I do that a lot because I'm actually kind of insane, but like, I was thinking to myself, what is the most important game of this generation so far? Like, of starting in 2013 to now, like counting Switch, like PS4 and Switch and all that. And I was thinking, I'm like, is it Destiny? Because Destiny kind of Destiny started a trend, I'd say, Like there are a lot of games coming out that and have come out that would not have been the same. Like they would be very different had Destiny not been a thing. Like what it was. It was a shared world RPG, whatever, and all of a sudden the Division comes out and it's a shared world RPG, and now we got Anthem coming out. And I don't think that game started development as a shared world RPG. Just a hunch. But then I was thinking about Zelda, and it's hard to tell right now. But sometimes the most important games are the games that can take a familiar formula and shake it up so much that it creates something completely new. And I think that's what Breath of the Wild does. It takes, your traditional open world game with like stuff on a map, you have to go get collectibles and all that. And it actually commits to the premise of go explore and find this stuff out for yourself. Don't just look at your mini map and, go to where this icon is, and then that'll give you a quest, and then you have to go here and then come. It's like everything you do in that game, you do it because you found it. Like you yourself did it, and that just makes everything so much more rewarding, I think. Like, would you?
I totally agree with that. Because like the first objective you get like right off the bat is like destroy Ganon. That's like the end of the game.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's like however you get there, that's up to you. You can just go straight there and get your ass beat, or you can actually kind of play the game the way it was intended, and Also,
like there are times in that game where I question myself, like, am I supposed to be in this area? Like, am I skilled enough to survive like in this area?
Sometimes, because there was a moment I learned real quick. It was do you know where that point is? It's by shoot, I'm totally blanking. Oh my god, the Zora's Domain. It's by Zora's. It's like the canals, and there's a flashback point there, like underneath an arch. It's by Mount Lanayru, and there's a Lionel.
Okay, maybe.
And I go there and I see, because I saw that, because the painting guy, I'm forgetting his name, I'm sorry. He's like, go here, like I think this is where it is. And so I go there and I get the flashback. I'm like, I want to go to Mount Lanayru. And I walk forward 2 steps. I see this thing. I'm like, what is that? And then it just shoots me with an electric arrow and I die immediately. I'm like,
oh, okay.
Guess I can't go there yet. And so I went back to Zora's Domain, and I'm like, oh, I should probably do the Divine Beast and all that stuff first. And then I went back, and I still got killed immediately. I'm like, oh, this is I can't come back here for a long time, I guess. There's just so many spots like that in Breath of the Wild. There's just so many where you're just like, should I be here? I don't know. Or is this too because I think the canonical way, whatever that is like you go to Rito Village first and then Zora's Domain. But I went to Zora's Domain and then Rito Village. And I'm like, this feels like I'm doing this in the wrong order, but I don't care. It's fun. Also, Rito Village, so good. Wind Waker is my favorite game of all time. And to see just that tribute to Wind Waker, in that is that village. Like, the whole village just feels like a tribute to Wind Waker. With the music and, all the vibes and the way it's designed. I'm just like, oh my god. This is just... I cried. I'm not even going to joke. I'm like... Because, Wind Waker is easily my favorite game of all time. Because that was, one of the first games I played as a kid that really made me go... Whoa, video games are more than just running to the side and pressing A and pressing B a bunch of times and shooting stuff. I'm like, these can have really impactful stories and beautiful graphics and cool characters and whatever. It was my first time experiencing a very, at the time, a modern game. Because I was PS2 and then I got a GameCube and I got that with it. I'm like, whoa, PS2 is cool and all, but this is a thing. And so to see Breath of the Wild almost be the true sequel to Wind Waker in a way, where it takes everything Wind Waker did and just ramps it up to 11, like the open-endedness and the the level design, like the quest design and everything, the characters and the art style, not the art style specific, but like the aesthetic, I'd say.
Yeah.
Totally. To see like a physical representation of my own emotions in a Zelda game that pays homage, it's like, oh my god. So I could not take it. I imagine that was kind of how people were who grew up on Ocarina of Time when they went to Zoro's Domain. We're like, oh my god, this is cool, but you know, Rito Village just blew my mind. Oh. I hope I didn't just ruin everything if you haven't been there yet.
Oh no, it's fine.
I'm like, wait, no, I probably should have asked him if he had been there yet.
No,
I just kind of got really excited. It's been out for a while, so I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, it's just like I'm gonna have to bite my tongue. I'm definitely holding things back. Don't worry. Like, there's some things that that are so cool that that are off limits. I think you just don't talk. Like, there's one quest I did that was very optional. Like, it was like in a weird corner of the map. I don't even remember where it was exactly. And they just said, "Hey, go do this thing." I'm like, "Are you serious?" And then I'm like, "Oh, this like." I'm being super vague, but I'm like, this is a thing in this game? Like, it's a really weird, dumb thing that just makes no sense, but it exists. And it's just so good. I bet it's like a very bad explanation of like even of a vague explanation, but it's just like
I'm trying to decide if I want you to spoil it or not. I kind of want you to.
Well, I'll just say
there's so much to do in that game. I feel like it might.
I'll just say it's a horse. It's a horse you get.
Okay.
And you go through like this giant sort of gauntlet to get to it, and then you find it, and you're like, what? So it's a very bizarre thing. Like it's not natural, is what it is. It's just a very weird situation. All right. But yeah. That's all I'll say. Find the horse. Find that horse. It's in the south side of the map. I'll just give you a hint. It's in the south side.
All right.
And then like finding the fairy fountains and stuff like that. There was one fountain I found that wasn't even like another kind of like tease. It wasn't even like a fairy fountain. It was just like, what is this? There's just so much stuff where you just like that game is so good at making you go, what is this?
What is this? What
is this? Am I the first person in the world to find this? You know, like it's so good at doing that. That's how I felt playing No Man's Sky, honestly. But I mean,
obviously, you'll see how that turned out.
Well, I like No Man's Sky, but I understand that I had my expectations in check. You know, I'm like, I went into No Man's Sky. I was just like, I don't even know what this is, so I'm not even gonna get my hopes up one way or the other. I'm just gonna go in and see what it is. I'm like, you know what, this is pretty fun. And then I'm like, I see the backlash online. I'm like, whoa, what did you think people think it was gonna be? Like, I wanted to live in space and be a pirate. I'm like, okay. But then I look at the stuff that Sean Murray said. I'm like, oh, now I know why people are upset. But that's an aside. Yeah, Breath of the Wild, like, as much as I love that game, though, my favorite game of the year so far is still Persona 5.
Okay. I haven't played it myself, but I've heard.
Play it. Like, have you played Persona 4 Golden or Persona 4 Persona 4 Golden? Okay, there's a learning curve. Because I played Persona 4 on PS3. I played the PS2 version because I heard so many good things about Golden, but I didn't have a Vita at the time. And then like halfway through my playthrough, I bought a Vita with Persona 4 Golden. So I just started over with that. I'm like, oh, this is a way better version of this game. Because like, because originally if you died in a dungeon, you'd have to go back to your save point. And you have to like go all the way back. It was just so frustrating. But in Persona 4 Golden, if you died, you just restarted on the floor you were on because it's a dungeon crawler style. And like it goes by floor until you get to the top, and that's where the boss is. And so it just restarts you on the floor you were on when you died. And I'm like, that good on you guys. Because like I didn't even realize it because I got to the boss level, and in Persona 4, the original, there's a save point right outside the boss room. But in Persona 4 Golden, there's no save point. I'm like, what? They took out like the most important spot in the entire game. And then I died. I'm like, oh. But in Persona 5, it's even better because if you die during a boss fight, it just says start the battle over. It doesn't even like restart you on the floor. It just goes like, we'll just put you right back into the battle. like you have to start over the battle, like start the battle over, of course, but it's way less frustrating than having to like play from your last save file or going through another floor again. But yeah, that game is just like there is the learning curve, I'd say, is more in the time management parts. Are you familiar with how Persona works at all?
Kind of. I didn't expect it to be like that sort of like time management, like you're living your life sort of thing. You're going to school. I didn't like expect that.
Well, because I buy Persona 4 and I'm like, what is this? I love this. Like I didn't expect this at all, but I'm really digging it. But how it is, it's like it's not real time because that'd be insane. But like basically every day you can do one or two things a day. You can only do one if you go to like the dungeon and do stuff, and then you can't do anything at night because it's divided into like you do certain stuff during the day and you do stuff during the night. And like some days you can just do nothing but goof off, but it improves like your stats, like your social stats, like your coolness or your charm or your intelligence or whatever, and that applies to like your relationships and stuff like that. Like some people you can only be friends with if you have a high enough level like intellect or something like that. And but like in turn those relationships help improve your standing when you're actually in the dungeons when you're fighting, because you get these abilities from leveling up your relationships as well. And so when you like the way you have to manage your time is, do I hang out with this person? Or do I go to this dungeon? But this dungeon is also running on a time limit, and you have to beat it by this specific date on the calendar. So it's like if you waste too much time, you might not even be able to beat the dungeon because you managed it poorly. Because you can't just plow through it in one day. Sometimes it takes multiple days, So you have to learn like, okay, I need to level my stuff up this day so I'm more powerful when I go in tomorrow for the boss fight, and I have this ability ready so I can switch people out whenever I want, like switch party members whenever I want or something like that. And so it's just it's stressful, but it's also really rewarding because it's just, I think Huber said it, where it's just constant dopamine. There's just always something unlocking, leveling up. You're always getting something, always something being achieved every single day, even if you feel like you wait, because you can play video games with your cat in Persona 5, and like even if you just do that, even if you waste a day by doing that twice, once in the day and once in the evening, you're still leveling your stats up slowly, but you are leveling your stats up, so you still feel like you're getting a sense of you're getting a reward for doing even the stupidest things. And so yeah, if you don't mind the cool protagonist.
Oh yeah, so it's too
cool. I was watching that Gundam stream too, and I'm like, what? No, Kyle, no! How dare you? The whole chat just erupts. Oh, it's too cool for you. Is that it? Yeah, because I think it was like Talking Syndrome one time. Huber was talking about Injustice 2. I'm like, Kyle would be a Deadshot main or something like that. He's like, no, Deadshot's way too cool for Kyle. He's got the cheese, but he's just too cool. And so, but yeah, Persona 5 is like, I'd say that's the dark horse for Game of the Year discussions. I know, like, at the end of the year, I'm not going to be surprised when every single news site and awards ceremony gives it to Breath of the Wild. But I'm going to be rooting for Persona 5, guys, because aesthetically and gameplay wise, that game just clicks on every level for me for some reason.
Wait, Persona 5?
Yeah.
Talking about?
Yeah. It just clicks. Like, the game even talks about aesthetic, like, all the time. Like, it's like, I think Igor, he's like an old man who gives you your powers. He's like, you need to find friends that share your aesthetic, and they'll help you along the way. I'm like,
whoa.
Yes! It's all about aesthetic. Because, for me, it's why I don't like Dark Souls, is aesthetic. I'm just I need an interesting atmosphere if I want to get sucked into a game. Like, I like Bloodborne way more than Dark Souls because I find, Victorian horror way more interesting than grim fantasy. And that's just, I don't know. It's another, I'm just weird. Like, you're not wrong, I'm just weird. You can like Dark Souls, I just don't. Because like if I figured like if I'm gonna be dying, oh, are you frozen? Oh no. Uh-oh. Are you there?
No, we all have our aesthetic differences. Persona 5.
Oh.
Are we back? We're back.
Uh.
Uh,
Okay, there we go. I think it's good now.
all right.
Yeah. I saw your corner just like stop moving. I'm like, oh. I've been talking for like 30 seconds and like it's frozen. But yeah, like as I was saying, what I was saying before, like I'm like, if I'm gonna die 1,000 times in a game, I'd rather do it in an environment I like than one I don't. So
yeah,
like Neo,
yeah,
where you die in 2 seconds. It's like I'd rather die in 2 seconds in feudal Japan than Fantasyland.
Yeah. What I was gonna say about Persona 5.
Oh, yeah.
What's it called? This like the style of the game, like the
Oh
aesthetic.
yeah, it's like
good looking, man.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Like when you're playing Persona, when I was playing Persona 4 Golden for the first, or Persona 4 for the first time, I'm like, this is just anime. Like I'm playing an anime right now. This is weird. Like it feels like I'm actually in like a high school anime or something like that. And then you play Persona 5 and you're just like, I'm in like graffiti land mixed with whatever, and it's just like I don't know, it's just there's so much style in everything there is. The vibrant reds. I actually wrote it like it was never published on like any like actual site. I just kind of wrote a review because I wanted to write my thoughts down. I'm like, the game's color is so consistent. It's just black and red, and you just see it everywhere. It's like consistent on their outfits. It's consistent in the environments. It's consistent in like the UI, and just like it's bananas. Yeah. Oh no. It's frozen again.
Like, just looking, like, come on, menus, man.
This is like freezing left and right. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna turn my phone's Wi-Fi off and see if that helps. Are we good? Are we good?
Yeah.
Oh, it's still cutting out.
Internet in my house.
You're still. I can't.
We're back.
It's being real. It's being real gnarly. I turned my phone's Wi-Fi off. I don't know if that helps at all, but
yeah.
Might have to just cut it short if it's just like brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm turning off my Wi-Fi.
If I just cut it off, don't be alarmed. I'll probably just like if it's just too brutal, I'll probably just do an outro and stop the broadcast. Honestly, just because it's like, holy God, Lord Almighty. But yeah, I think it's happening again. I'm gonna close out of stuff too. Just all hands on deck for Google Hangouts. Okay. You're not like it's not completely frozen, so I think I don't want to say we're in the clear because I know that'll jinx it immediately. But man, I forgot what I was gonna say. I actually kind of want to switch gears a little bit. Which is funny because I just made a Gears of War 4 reference. Oh. Man, this is like every 2 seconds there's freezing. Man, this ain't cool. Still with me? I don't know if I can.
1 second.
I'm adjusting the bandwidth. I lowered the bandwidth usage. I'm still not getting you very good. Man, this is unfortunate. I'm in like 144p, but I don't know if that helps. Okay, this a little bit. Sorry if you're watching right now.
All right.
Technical difficulties. Okay, I might just end it here. Well, I could just oh man.
Yeah. All right.
Man, you're cutting in and I just tweeted you saying I might have to end it, but I'm gonna stop the broadcast and start it again.